In life, certain decisions lead down irreversible paths. This narrative recounts one such instance, a night where love, betrayal, and tangled emotions took center stage. When Frank Walker noticed the unsettling look in his wife's eyes, he had no inkling this night would lead them down an unforeseen road. What troubled Brooke? Would Frank permit his wife to fall into another man's arms? This story delves into humanity's darkest corners, prompting introspection on the blurred lines between right and wrong, desire and morality. Before embarking on my story, if you don't want your life turned upside down as mine was, subscribe to my channel for real-life lessons from shared experiences. Share your thoughts on these shocking truths in the comments and show your support with a like. Now that you've subscribed, let's dive into my story. As Frank Walker, I've faced numerous life challenges, yet tonight's events were wholly unexpected. It began at a restaurant. Observing Brooke, she appeared joyful, her eyes sparkling with a captivating allure. Yet, an underlying unease lingered, a sense that something was amiss. As I attempted to dismiss the feeling, a waiter approached with a note that would alter my life unimaginably. My heart pounded as I read it. My wife was in danger, but not in any way I'd anticipated. A man named Mark Leah was attempting to seduce Brooke. My gaze instinctively fell upon the dance floor. There they were, Brooke and Mark, dancing. Her smile, revealing her interest in him, only amplified my growing doubts. I was poised to intervene, but the music abruptly stopped, and Brooke returned to our table with Mark. The unease persisted, though I maintained composure. However, when Brooke rose to use the restroom, that unsettling feeling resurfaced. Her behavior was so unusual, I couldn't shake the feeling something was terribly wrong. As I prepared to follow, Mark and his companions blocked my path. These young, inexperienced men reminded me of past challenges, high-ranking corporate officials, mafia members. Dealing with such individuals was my expertise, but these young men presented no real threat. With a few pointed words, I quickly dispatched them and followed Brooke. Brooke was heading towards the restaurant's back exit, and I rapidly closed the distance. I told her to stop. She turned, and the alienation in her eyes pierced me. "Where are you going?" I asked. Her response marked the beginning of a nightmare. She intended to go to Mark's house. This was unacceptable. Brooke attempted to convince me it was a fleeting encounter, that things would return to normal the following morning. But to me, this was far more than a fling. It was the end of our marriage. Anger and disappointment surged. How could my wife so readily consider another man? I saw a flicker of hesitation in her eyes, but then, with resolve, she explained the night's importance to her, how it made her feel. Her words only intensified my anger. "Frank," she said, her voice trembling slightly, "I never intended to hurt you. This isn't about love. It's something I need to do, just this once, and then everything will return to normal." I couldn't comprehend her words. "You're telling me spending the night with another man just once won't destroy us? Brooke, how can you even think that?" She looked away, unable to meet my gaze. "It's not like that," she whispered. "Mark, he's different. He makes me feel alive in a way I haven't felt in years. I just need to experience that again." The pain of her words struck me like a physical blow. "So, I don't make you feel alive anymore? Is that it? All these years, all the love we've shared, does that mean nothing to you?" Her eyes welled with tears. For a moment, I thought she might change her mind, but instead she said, "Frank, please try to understand. I need this. Just let me go." I made my decision. If Brooke was going to spend the night with Mark, our marriage ended then and there. When I told her this, she looked horrified. But then I saw the resolve in her eyes, and I knew she understood the gravity of the situation. She considered retreating, but the determination and coldness in my gaze unnerved her further. "Are you really willing to throw everything away for one night with him?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "Is that what our marriage is worth to you?" "Frank, don't do this," she pleaded. "It's not about us. It's about me, about what I need right now. Can't you just let me have this?" The emptiness inside me grew, a void I knew could never be filled. If you walk out that door, Brooke, you're not just spending the night with him. You're ending us. Do you understand that? She hesitated, her hand on the doorknob, weighing her options. I didn't want it to be like this, but if that's what it takes, then I guess this is goodbye. That night, our marriage irrevocably changed. The shared memories, the joy, all seemed to vanish instantly. An overwhelming emptiness consumed me. The thought of Brooke with another man deeply wounded me. I could never forgive her. I could never love her the same way again. This was the night everything changed. When Brooke realized the magnitude of her mistake, she attempted to salvage our marriage, apologizing repeatedly, begging for forgiveness. But how could I forgive her when the trust was gone? How could I ever look at her the same, knowing what she'd done? She often broke down, tears streaming down her face, whispering, "Frank, I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. Please, please forgive me." But each time, I turned away. Her words were meaningless, empty, like the promises we'd once made. Then, one evening, after countless attempts to reach me, she completely broke down. She knelt before me, hands clasped, face streaked with tears. "Frank, please don't throw us away. I know I made a terrible mistake, but I love you. I've always loved you. Please don't let this be the end." I looked at her, the woman I'd loved for so many years, and for a brief moment I wanted to believe her, to forgive her, to start over. But the pain, the betrayal, was too profound. I knew that no matter how much she begged, how much she cried, things could never return to how they were. "Brooke," I said quietly, "I wish I could. I wish I could just forget everything and move on, but I can't. What you did, it changed everything. It changed us. And I don't think we can ever go back." Her sobs intensified, her body shaking with grief. "Frank, please, please don't do this. I can't lose you. I won't survive without you." But I knew deep down it was over. The love we once shared was gone, replaced by a hollow emptiness nothing could fill. "I'm sorry, Brooke, but I can't stay in a marriage where trust no longer exists. It's time to let go." With those words, I walked away, leaving behind the woman who had once been my everything. As I closed the door, I knew this was the final chapter of our story, a story of love, betrayal, and the irreversible consequences of our choices. We all make life decisions, but some lead down paths with no return. Brooke's decision, though seemingly fleeting, irrevocably altered our lives. Nothing would ever be the same. This isn't just a tale of betrayal. It's a narrative exploring the complexities of human nature, desires, and choices. Every decision has consequences. Some change our lives forever,